Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the 157 Show. Once again, my name is Jonathan. Sitting over here is Austin. He's not Auburn Austin. He lost the Iron Bowl.
We're nothing. We're just kind of chilling
We're just Austin this time.
until the
we're gonna
bowls
roll
are
with that.
announced.
Make sure you hit the like button, follow button. We don't have a follow button, do we? We have a subscribe button right here. I just read that. So
You should still hit the buttons if they're there. Hit 'em.
hit every button you can see. Like button, subscribe button. Drop a comment below. Let us know what you guys are thinking about this SEC championship game that's coming up between Alabama and Georgia, which is, be quite honest with you, going to be a barn burner.
And let me tell you what I'm going to do for this game. I'm going to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm going to order whatever beer is on special
Okay,
for the day
right.
or the month and just drink beer
just do it.
and watch the entire game at Buffalo Wild Wings.
I like that. It's a good idea. I may join you on that.
False.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
So, of course, if you haven't heard already, Alabama is an underdog for the first time in God knows how long.
92 games.
92 games. So, as of right now, at the time of recording, Georgia is a 6.5 point favorite
That's what I've been
going into the game, which is a couple days away from now. But who knows? The betting line could change, shift a little bit, but who knows? You know, Georgia is pretty hot with that defense. So
The defensive front of Georgia
it's nasty.
is nasty.
That's just
And it's not just, Jordan Davis and I forget the other guy's name. It's not just one or two. I was reading up on them today, and they listed like 8 people on the front 7. There was 8 people listed.
Yeah, there's guys that
And by the front 7, I'm talking about the defensive line.
the second string guys are just as good as the first string. They have recruited linemen for the last couple years, and I think it's finally starting to pay off for them because these guys they're older though. I will say that these older guys are getting on their playing time and they have the experience and all that. So I think that's why their defense is just solid.
And that leads me to the point for Alabama, or the struggles Alabama's going to face, is Georgia's pass rush is phenomenal.
Yes,
But
offensive line for Alabama is terrible.
yeah, and Georgia's allowing approximately 80 yards per game rushing.
Right.
What? Alabama's hurt. They only have
One scholarship player at running back, which is Trey Sanders,
because we're
and
assuming
he is just learning how to walk. Just learn how to walk again this past year. So
because that's the car wreck guy, folks.
Yes.
Got it down.
yes, he's nailed it timely.
Yeah.
But he just started learning. He just learned how to walk again. After his injury within this past year, and just we've converted some guys from linebacker and some guys that have played running back in school, in high school. So we might have a little bit of depth there. I'm hoping to see a lot of Trey Sanders. I've always been high on him. I've always wanted to see him play because he reminds me a little bit of Josh Jacobs too, more like McClellan. McClellan reminds me of Josh Jacobs, but Trey Sanders is kind of like, he seems to be ready to go. I don't know how much. If I can give you a mold of somebody, I don't know who I would tell you who he reminds me. I said Josh Jacobs a second ago, but I'm just kind of we'll base it on Josh Jacobs.
Moving on. With an injured running backs crew going on back there with just one scholarship player, like you're saying, I feel like Young is going to have a lot of pressure on him to establish a good pass game, to stretch the field.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if Alabama can get the run game going. And that's my biggest concern.
I don't see very much running happening, to be quite honest with you.
truly
if it does, it comes from Young. Yeah, this is a hot take right now. Bryce Young will lead rushing yards for Alabama in this game. It may be 4 yards, but they are going to lead rushing yards. He's going to lead rushing yards, excuse me.
The next problem with Alabama that I see, now I don't know Georgia's schedule, so I could be wrong with this, but so since November 6th, Alabama has played LSU, Arkansas, and Auburn.
Battle tested at least.
So they're not only tired, but they're also injured.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see how that shakes out.
Yeah.
That's another thing to be aware of.
Alabama's battle tested and played some close games, so at least we have that on our side. Yeah. But I don't see, this is just me, I don't see this game being a high scoring game. This is probably going to be like the Iron Bowl, maybe.
B2.
Yes, 14-7, something.
And I agree with that because I don't think that Georgia has a stellar offense. They have a good running back crew.
They are leaning on the defense this whole year.
They've always had that safety net of, okay,
run the ball.
If my defense stops them 10 times,
yep.
By the time we get to that 6th or 7th drive on our offense, we can figure something out. We can
Yeah.
make adjustments as we go because we can lean on the defense.
Right.
And that's where I see Georgia shining here.
And don't get me wrong. I don't want to take nothing away from Georgia. Their running backs are phenomenal. Stetson Bennett, to me, he hasn't had to do much. He is what everyone called AJ McCarron, and I was a game manager. That's all he does.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. If it works, it works.
They're winning.
I just want to see Georgia play hard ball with somebody.
Yes.
They have not had that test
Yep.
until
They're close
this weekend.
The most points they have allowed this season is to Tennessee, and that they had a fast offense, and I think you'll see a lot of that from Alabama. I think you'll see it up tempo.
Because didn't Tennessee put up over 20 points?
Tennessee, I know they put up 17. I don't know much higher
It may be 17.
because that was the most points allowed by them all season, 17 points.
One quarterback is thrown for 300 yards.
Yep.
And only 5 touchdown passes all year. So I'm talking about Bryce Young having to step up and stretch the field and get these touchdown passes because there's not going to be a run game. We're presuming.
There's not going to be
But
any true run game from running back
So-
from Alabama's running back for sure. But
with the lack of them allowing a lot of pass yards versus Alabama's hurt running backs, I'm curious to see what's going to give. Is Trey Sanders going to ball out or is Bryce Young going to ball out? Because I'm telling you what's going to happen. Bryce Young's got to throw for over 250. And he's
Easy.
got to have over 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Or 2 touchdowns. Let's put it that way. Otherwise, this game is already in the.
I can
is
see
already
him
done.
throwing for 300 more, 300 plus. If
be
he
tough.
and I will say this: if he throws for 300 plus and looks halfway competent against this Georgia defense, he will win the Heisman. It's a weak class. I'll say that. It's a
This
weak
is the
class.
weakest quarterback class I
Yes.
think I've ever
well,
seen.
just in general for the Heisman and it just overall, it is a weak year for the Heisman.
Well, yeah, especially when you have Will Anderson, you have Jordan Davis, and then I think another guy up north. In the running, top 10.
Walker III from Michigan State was
that's
the other
it.
guy. But, I mean, this is a weak Heisman class, but if Bryce Young can look somewhat competent and have stellar play against his defense, I think that will seal the deal for him winning the Heisman. Because everyone is high on him right now for coming back and doing what he did against Auburn in the Iron Bowl.
He looked phenomenal. Like when the
in that
spotlight
last-
was on, when the pressure was there, which is what we're talking about with the pressure, he succeeded.
Yes. And, he's always been kind of calm and collected and cool. You don't see much, expressions from him at all.
He sweated more in the first 3.5 quarters of the Iron Bowl
Yeah.
than he did in the last minute and a half
Yeah.
and into the overtimes.
Yeah. Because, he's running for his life most of the time.
Literally.
But this defense, going back to Georgia, I think they're going to play to get to the quarterback. And I think,
Why wouldn't you?
Well, I say that because I think they're going to bring a lot of blitzes. That said,
It'll open up.
I think it will open
Williams
up some
and
people
Mechie.
in the receiving game. At least for a little while until they say, "Oh crap, let's
This
back off
isn't
a
working.
bit."
Yeah. But then hopefully it opens up your run game.
But here's the thing too: if they can get pressure with 4 or even 3, what's the point in bringing the blitz?
No, just drop back 8.
I mean,
Have
Alabama's
them
not.
sitting.
Alabama's not. They're not going to hurt you in the run game very much if they do.
I mean, you may hurt them.
I mean, it's it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup, I think, with this offensive line being as bad as it's been, and that defensive line as
Being
good as they've been.
stout as it's been.
I mean, it's phenomenal. But I just, and this is just my gut here, and I'm going to ride with it because they haven't done it. But I think Alabama's going to pull it out. I think an offensive explosion from Alabama is what's going to happen. I don't know why. And I should probably go the other way. The way my predictions have gone.
I know why.
It's because that hat.
It's that hat right there.
Because the way my predictions have gone this year, I should probably pick the other way.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be Alabama's most complete game that they've had. This is going to be the one that matters. And I'm not saying the offensive line is going to be freaking phenomenal. They're going to stop everything. We're going to just do whatever we want. But I think you're going to see a lot of improvement, I guess. From
This is going to be the test where Georgia faces a explosive offense with a good defense.
right.
So I'm curious to see how they react to that. Depending on how they react to that, you can kind of tell. I think you'll be able to tell where the game's going.
Short of Tennessee, Georgia has not faced a good offense yet.
And I'm not taking away from Georgia. I think they're the best team in the nation.
They're good. They're
I'll
definitely.
tell you this right now. I'm going to say Georgia 24, Alabama 13.
interesting.
Just throwing it out there. I think
I think you're going to see some points be put up by Alabama. Now, I said early on at 21-7 or something. I think it's going to be more like a 20-14, maybe Alabama.
Alabama win. You can't say maybe Alabama's one or the other.
No, I'm on the fence still, but I think Alabama's going to pull something out. I don't know why, but I think Alabama's going to pull something out.
Sounds good.
And I think if we do that, if we can get them to where late in the game where we're ahead 20-14, make Bennett
Put the pressure on
put the
them.
pressure on Stetson
On him
Bennett,
to pass the ball.
I think we can win it.
I will agree with that. But you got to
we have
get
to
there.
make him throw.
You got to get there, and I don't think Alabama can get there.
I mean, the way I hope, like I said, I hope this is the week that we have our most complete game. We haven't had one of those in God knows how long, so I'm hoping this is it. But, I mean, or it could be a complete freaking massacre. Who knows? It could be 45-3.
It could very well be.
I mean, you don't know what's going to happen right now with this Alabama team. So, but other than that, I mean, I don't really have much to say because I mean the game hasn't been played yet.
This is your game, so
yep.
I'll let you do most of the talking there.
This is that's the take there on the SEC championship game. So, I mean, if you guys have an opinion on the game, or if you guys let us know what your thoughts are in the comments for sure. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't already. And I mean, we'll tune back in for our review of the game after this week.
After championship weekend.
After championship weekend, we'll definitely tune in and drop you guys another episode. So thank y'all for again. Thank y'all again for watching this video. And we'll see you guys next time. Roll Tide.
War Eagle.